I'm going to show you around the Holland American Noordam. We'll show you all around the public spaces and give you some helpful hints about this ship. Starting here on deck 1 and making our way to the atrium, they proudly display an Environmental Excellence Award. The guest services desk is right here in front of me. I am filming in the very early morning hours, and the staff member is just around the corner. But during the main part of the day and evening, there are always 2 to 3 staff members ready to help with any issues we might have. From assistance with the Wi-Fi to questions about our account and pretty much anything you might need. We're here during the Lunar New Year, and areas around the ship are decorated for the holiday. The chandelier above is beautiful, and you will see more of it as we tour the floors above. Down here on deck 1 is also where to find the future cruise desk. There were 2 representatives available during posted hours to help guests plan their next cruise. There's a waiting room between the 2 offices. Typically there is a sign-in sheet, and they serve guests in the order they arrived. There's also a rack of printed itineraries. There's a small bank of public computers available for guest use. You can access the ship Wi-Fi only for the purpose of looking at the Holland America website, but if you have a Wi-Fi package on the ship, you could log in at these computers and access the Wi-Fi and the internet. They also have a printer hookup if needed. I'm at the midship elevator bank on deck 1, and other than guest services, future cruises, and the business center, the only other area is dedicated to guest staterooms, so we will go on up to deck 2. Midship on deck 2 overlooks the atrium below where we just were. I'm heading aft or toward the back of the ship. Here is the Pinnacle Bar and Lounge, a great place to hang out if you're waiting for your reservation at the Pinnacle Grill. We're sailing through Valentine's Day, and they're offering a special dining event on that date. This venue also hosts other special dining nights during our voyage, featuring some Asian cuisine. There are some tables right along the edge here which look down on the atrium, but there are more tables in the back which are quieter and more private. Most of the tables in Pinnacle Grill seat 2 to 4 guests. There are a few tables for larger parties. The restaurant is elegant with beige and muted gold decor. It's partitioned off into smaller sections for a more intimate feel. Continuing toward the aft on deck 2 brings us through the Park West Gallery. Displays here change throughout the cruise. Currently they are preparing for an art show and auction, so many of the pieces are removed right now. All throughout the ship are sculptures of famous figures of mythology and Netherlands royalty. I love these women who are holding up the ship with their heads. On the left is the area which used to host Lincoln Center classical music. I'm hoping they soon bring back some form of classical music option on the sailing. All the other music venues are very upbeat and loud. I am not opposed to upbeat and loud, but I really do enjoy stringed instrument and classical pieces on occasion too. On our sailing, this venue was used for some private group meetings and for some evening game shows. This is the Explorer's Lounge, which is just outside that venue. It was used as a place to talk, and at one point was used for a help session for folks working on Philippine entry paperwork. The Signature Studio is the area for booking special photography sessions. In the far aft is the dining room. It spans 2 decks. This is the lower deck. We chose open seating dining, where we could come anytime from 5 to 9 p.m. and be seated. This is also where those who are in Club Orange have their own registration desk. Club Orange guests get priority seating and some exclusive extra items on their menu. Breakfast or brunch was always served in this dining room rather than on deck 3. The tables around the windows are all larger tables and typically fill with large parties or with guests who agree to share a table with others. Tables for 2 and 4 are usually second row from the windows or up on the raised platform or near the entrance to the dining room. Let's leave this dining room, say hello to the angel guarding the entrance, and continue our tour. I'm cutting back to midship, and this time we will head forward. King William I greets visitors to the midship elevators here on deck 2. If I go to the left of the elevator, it leads me to one of the side entrances to the Rolling Stones Lounge. This venue hosts a band playing 3 sets per night, but during the day it hosts a multitude of other events. Coffee chats with the cruise director, an informative and quite entertaining cooking show. There's ballroom dance hour, flower arranging demonstrations, Tai Chi classes, movies, and Deal or No Deal, a game show that costs extra to play but is free to watch. We will exit through the main entrance of the Rolling Stones Lounge into a major hallway. This hallway is often referred to as the Music Walk because 3 live music venues are all connected by this hallway. The next venue we come across is Billboard On Board on the right. This hosts the dueling pianos who primarily perform hits from the Billboard Top 100. They also hosted trivia games here. Across from Billboard On Board is the casino. Bingo cards were sold by the casino staff, and the games were usually played in Billboard On Board. Then you spill out at the forward elevator bank. I just went back to midship, and this time let's go up the stairs. There's always artwork on each landing of the stairways, so it's a great way to get a little cultural enhancement while taking the stairs. Let's head aft again. Many of the main indoor public areas are down on Deck 2 where we just were, and up here on Deck 3. Heading aft once again, we can look down at the atrium 2 decks below, and a better view of the chandelier. There's a large world globe here at the ocean bar area, and we walk through the photo gallery. During the sailing and at every gangway when we get off in port, ship photographers can take your photo. This is where those photos are displayed for your viewing to purchase if you desire. They offer several photo packages, and if you have onboard credit, you can use that here. These benches here are actually for a photo sitting. However, we saw them used by people just sitting and enjoying a little quiet time here in this hall. The hallway ends in the back of the ship with a Deck 3 dining room, which is decorated and set up very similarly to the one we saw down on Deck 2. I have backtracked now to the midship elevators again, but this time we're going forward on Deck 3. There are exits to the outdoor promenade, and there are shops located on this deck. They are not currently open because I'm filming very early in the morning in order to show you the ship with as few people in the video as possible. Designer handbags and some clothing here. There's a jewelry store and a shop that carries Holland America branded items. And it leads me out to one of my favorite areas of the ship. This is the Library Cafe where I come to get specialty coffee, and I will get a caramel latte a little later. There are some meeting rooms located here. This ship is perfect for groups and can reserve meeting spaces. This morning, one of the meeting rooms is set up for Mass, which was hosted every morning on the ship. The Noordam has a small, well-stocked library, and the books are displayed based on several categories: short stories, poetry, fiction, young adult, romance. There are some comfortable chairs here with a nice view if you want to read while in the library. Science fiction and fantasy, non-fiction and mystery. They always have a daily crossword puzzle, and here is information about their Audible book club. That library is conveniently located at the forward elevator bank and stairs, and on either side of the stairs we find entrances to the World Stage, which is the name of Holland America's theater. Accessible seating is right here at the top of the theater. There's also some accessible space on the main floor if you enter from Deck 2. Most of the seating is long bench style rather than individual seats, and is first come, first served in the theater. Deck 3 is home to the Promenade deck. The Holland America ships have a promenade that goes all the way around the ship. The wide wooden decking invites guests to go for walks outside. 3 laps around the track is 1 mile, and every now and then there are some comfy loungers, a perfect place to sit in the quiet shade listening to the ocean. The promenade is covered overhead by the lifeboats or by a ceiling, which mostly protects folks from the elements. It is not a jogging track, though, and running is supposedly not allowed. However, I was on the track with a jogger who cannot or would not read the signs, and once I saw an elderly man and woman tell her no jogging allowed. She ignored them and passed on by. They were probably a good 40 years her senior. She continued around and passed them again. So they stood by the no jogging sign to point it out to her the next time she came by, even trying to block her so she could not run around them. She was fighting mad, but they had the good sense not to hit her with their cane. But they were ready to tell me all about it as I came up behind them. They were asking me if I saw the jogger and how dangerous it was for the jogger to be running around so many slower walkers. They reported her to security, who supposedly came down to ask her to quit jogging. Anyway, no one jogging by me at the moment, and I'm glad that there is no YouTube fodder of that altercation. The absolute best views are here in the aft, and sometimes it is hard not to take a break from walking the promenade just to stop and enjoy the view. Decks 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are all devoted to staterooms. There are 3 elevator banks, midship, forward, and aft. The very front of Deck 9 is a well-equipped fitness center with floor-to-ceiling windows for the views while you work out. They host complimentary seminars and an assortment of paid and complimentary fitness classes. The spa includes a hair salon, a nail salon, and various treatment rooms. There's a thermal area for an extra cost, either by the day or for the length of the cruise. I found heated loungers, steam room, sauna, and a hydrotherapy pool. On our sailing, they often offered a ladies' night for $49. Midship on Deck 9 is the main pool. There are tables and chairs here in the forward end and along the sides, but around the pool itself are comfy lounge chairs. Pool towels are available for use, and the great thing about this pool is that the roof can be open or closed depending on the weather, so this pool is usable year-round. The dive-in food venue is conveniently located here by the pool, where you can order burgers and hot dogs with fries, chicken sandwiches. There's a bar with bar staff here to service the pool as well. Going from midship to mid-aft is the Lido Market, the Noordam's buffet area. There are 2 self-serve drink stations, one in the front and one in the back. Here you can help yourself to ice and filtered water, juices, lemonade and iced tea, coffee, regular and decaf, 2% whole and half milk, a variety of tea bags, hot water, cocoa packets, and sweetener choices including honey. For breakfast you can find just about anything you would normally eat. Early risers can find cereals, fruits, and during full breakfast hours there are always a station for eggs to order if you like fresh fried eggs or omelets. There are breads, cold cuts, and your standard scrambled eggs, boiled eggs, bacon, sausage, hash browns. They offer a case of different fruit juices and milk alternatives, dried fruits, oatmeals, yogurts, muesli, granola, congee, and so much more. The buffet is repeated on both sides, but be sure to check out both sides because you might find a station on one that is not on the other. On the far aft of Deck 9 is the aft pool. You can bring food from the Lido to eat outside if you like. This is a great spot for taking photos from the aft of the ship. The starboard side is the smoking area. I took that shot of the aft pool from up here on Deck 10, where I climbed the stairs to get a look at the sports court. Basketball goals are permanent for a small court, but Holland America has fully embraced pickleball, and we found that activity listed often on the schedule. Back down on Deck 10, and I'm going to walk around the deck heading this direction. There's a lot of open space. A few deck chairs are set up, and there are more in a stack that the crew will set out as the need arises. There are little half walls creating what I refer to as a walking slalom course. I assume to help break the wind. I found cornhole boards and shuffleboard. At midship is a door to the inside where the kids club is located. I was told for the sake of security no filming was allowed here, although there were no kids using the facility at the time. So back outside again. I'll speed up a little and show you around this upper deck. At one point I can stop to take a bird's eye view of the Lido pool through the opening in the roof. Then we continue on this port side of the ship and around the corner. Here on Deck 10 are the highest staterooms on the ship, and there are little-known doors at each hallway that lead into those stateroom corridors. If I continue my walk around Deck 10, it is much like the other side of the ship, with open spaces and partial wall slalom courses, until we end up where I started, which, by the way, is a great location for getting some perfectly unobstructed photos from the ship. Enjoy the views with me for a moment. This is Shirley with Shirley's Journeys, and I hope all of your journeys are pleasant ones.